Okay, guys, today's sales training is going to begin with a little bit of an apology. I'm sorry. I evidently stepped on some sensitive areas. I tell you true, did not mean to. I thought that my lead-in, I stated in last week's training that this is a little edgy and a little out there. I'm going to say some things I don't really mean to try to get a point across and to educate a little. And then repeatedly throughout, I kept trying to soften and get through. Evidently, I pooched it. And I'm very sorry I did. But that is going to lead us to this week's sales training. Communication is everything. I know what I think and believe. I know what I was trying to teach. But if someone took it wrong, if it hit them in the wrong place, that's on me. It's my job to be the communicator. It's my job to have said it right. It's my job to have put it forth in a proper way. If I failed, that's on me. So what I want to go over today, very briefly, this will not be a long one, is what to do when you goof up. What to do, especially when you miscommunicated. It can be an email you wrote wrong. It can be something you said wrong. It can be things just got tangled in your head. It can be your blood sugar got off, so you thought you had it, but you didn't. It can be any number of things. But somewhere along the line, you miscommunicated. Now, there's two classic paths. And when I was young, the first one was the one that life had taught me. And I used to know a guy that actually taught this to his children, believe it or not. And it is deny, deny, deny. Even with evidence thrown in front of you, deny. Stand behind. I mean, it's whether it's a lie, whether it's a manipulation, whether it's twisting of events, whether it's whatever. Deny, deny, deny. Spin, spin, spin. Equally tied to that part, because it's how most of you are going to think of it, is spin, spin, spin. When there is evidence, denial is spin. Now, for anyone who thinks at first seeing this, oh, that's horrific, oh, that's horrible, who could do that? I'm to a good extent going to agree with you. But I'm also going to tell you that is the path of your world leaders. Your politicians, your kings and countrymen, your celebrities, this is their life. This is how they handle communication crisis. Deny, 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 spin, spin, spin. Context, shipping, placement, everything else. It works or it wouldn't be done, people. It truly works or it wouldn't be done. The very first time a little bitty child learns by lying about something they did to avoid getting in trouble and they never get caught, this pattern begins. Some people teach it as a rule. I have heard many colleges, fraternities, sorority groups, other groups, I'm not trying to run down the Greeks, that took a game a little too far and got in a little trouble. And at first it's like, oh, well, it's just a college prank, oh, that's going to get us. Live by this. Everybody cover. You got to have my back. I got yours. This is my advice. The problem with this, let me end this before I go another path. It doesn't have to go down. It's a big black hole. You get an acid dump, you get stressed, you can't sleep at night, you wake up scared, you start not making eye contact with people, you start running into your third grade English teacher who you loved and you don't really want to see her because you feel guilty. You've done too much of this. This eats at you, man. It changes the core of who you are. It changes the place of who you should be. It gets you through the pain now, but it hurts bad tomorrow. I'm going to give you another option. And yes, some of your world leaders do this one, but I hate to say not many. Confess, admit, own it. Basically, own it. It's yours. You made the mistake. And I'm not telling you not to say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm not telling you not say, I think you misunderstood my context, or this is what I was trying to convey, or this is what went wrong. I'm not telling you there's not a background or an excuse. What I'm telling you is don't start with the background excuse. Admit it, I pooched. I'm sorry, I screwed up. I made a mistake. And that's on me. And I'm going to own it. And I'm going to own the repercussions from it. And what comes, comes. Because you know what? I did it. Now this is why it happened. And this is how it happened. And this is why I really don't think I made the mistake you think I did. But I guarantee you, ultimately, I did because I didn't communicate correctly. I was not trying to tell you, Mr. and Mrs. Client, that there's going to be too much profit made on this, or the quality's not up to standard, or you're a jerk, which is, let's be honest, it's usually an insult thing where we're frustrated and we vent out that we get caught, or I didn't mean to insult your cousin, or whatever. There are extenuating circumstances. There is miscommunication, there was misapplication, and you want to get those out. But the very first thing you want to do is realize you are not 100% pure. And if you're not 100% pure, own your fault. Then make amends. And you make amends by then giving your confession, your excuse, your extenuating circumstances, what you intended, why they misread it because where they're coming from versus what you were trying to say. Guys, this can hurt bad day one. And this can come with a lot of fear and anxiety. Strangely enough, up front, how do you spell anxiety? Oh well, we'll just scribble it so you can't tell I don't know how to spell it. Before you take act, this side has tons of fear and anxiety. This side has less. After you take act, this side has very little fear and anxiety, possibly none, and this side is filled with it. That's why that black hole. Swallow that bitter little pill here versus trying to choke down a massive poison pill long after the fact continuation. There is a reason that Jesus Christ taught this. There's a reason Scripture teaches this. There's a reason Christian leaders teach this. There's a reason that almost every decent religion in the history of the world's leaders teach this path. Because it's the right one. It's wise. It's not even being taught just from, it must be done to be pure, it must be done to crucify, it must be done because that's true. Set that aside. It's just basic common advice sense. It's, hey, dummy kid, this is what you do. Yeah, it seems easier because you're little to lie, but that hurts you down the road. Do this, your character rises. Who you are is bigger. Who you see is better. Everything about you becomes better because it's just the way it is. So my point is, I do own my mistake. And I am ashamed that I failed to communicate as I should have. I'm ashamed that instead of helping people see things and move forward, and I know I did some because I got some compliments and some nice things as well, and I appreciate that. But I did not communicate in a way where people who have been wounded through whatever reason didn't get a poke in a wound. And I screwed up, and I shouldn't have done it. And I will take care of that as best I can. And if you need anything, if there's anything I can do to try to make up, to try to help, I want to. Not because I'm dark, not because I'm evil, not because I really didn't. I thought I was doing some good. But I got to own the fact that at some level I messed up. In my opinion, if you do that, yeah, it has a little pain for you. Yeah, it stinks, you cause some pain for someone else. But ultimately, you can do even greater good. And that's kind of the goal. You want to help your clients. You want to serve them. You want to love them. You want to guide them. Own your mistakes, admit it, and make it better, because that is what we do. This is a core essence of sales, but it is more an application after the sale. If you want to know about how this applies before the sale, if you have this mentality, it is going to absolutely taint your presentation, because your presentation is going to be nothing but structure, manipulation, pressure to get somebody somewhere so that you get your cash so you can fill this void. If this is your personality mentality, you're going to guide, you're going to advise, you're going to help them through, you're going to try to get them what is best, you're going to show the value and benefit of what you do. But ultimately, you will always end with service, and hopefully with grace and with love. Thank you guys. God bless. Have a great day. See you soon.